Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and welcome to my review. Once again, thanks to First Power 100 who bought me the Lethal Weapon collection on Blu-ray. And I saw the theatrical version of this film, Lethal Weapon 3. Film that came out in the early 90s, around 1992, and kind of gets a bad rap in a way, but I'll be honest. I know I said in my first video on the Lethal Weapon films, and even my review of the first film, that the first film is my favorite. But to be honest, watching this again, I almost want to say this is my favorite. Because Part 1 and Part 3 of Lethal Weapon I absolutely love. And again, I enjoy Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 4 I'll talk about, but I really love Lethal Weapon 3. I always had fun with this one, and I highly enjoy it. Looks great on Blu-ray, but Lethal Weapon 3, I've always had a hoot with this. And, you know, some days you could ask me and I would say this is my favorite Lethal Weapon film. I don't mind the story. Like, a lot of people complain about the story and the villain, because the villain is an actor played Stuart Wilson. And he plays this guy who is a cop. He was a dirty cop, and it deals with weapons, and weapons get in the hands of teenagers and gang members. And I don't know, that story I thought was more interesting. I know it's an action film, but because like the first one, I really love the first Lethal Weapon. You have mercenaries and drugs, and the second one you have South African diplomats, and the fourth one you have triads. This one, for some reason, I could see the cops of L.A. dealing with this story more. I don't know what it is. Just for some reason, I don't mind the story in this film. I like the story, but most of all, I really love Riggs and Murtaugh's back and forth in this film. Watching this again, I laughed a lot. It was very hilarious. It was very entertaining. It was very fun. I really enjoy the flick. I mean, the opening with Sting and Eric Clapton, and you have the fire getting to logo Lethal Weapon of 3 on fire. It's probably me. Da, 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 da. I just really enjoy that. And this is my favorite opening of all the Lethal Weapon films. This is my favorite opening with Riggs and Murtaugh at there's a bomb in a building, and the bomb squad. And Riggs wants to go in, but Murtaugh doesn't. And it really shows these guys' chemistry are just spot on. And I just had a lot of fun with these two guys in this film. Just laughed so many times. I mean, even the opening alone, which I love, moments like, "Come on, Raj, I can't hear you. Open the door." "No, don't open that!" And then the Riggs is fucked with him, and Danny Glover's like, "Fuck you, Riggs," it's like, "Go spit, Riggs." And Danny Glover's like, "You know what the bomb squad say? They say, 'Riggs, Murtaugh, get the fuck out of here.'" And Riggs is like, "Yeah, but then after that they say, 'Cut the red wire.'" "Whoa, whoa, a minute ago you just said blue." "Did I say blue? You said blue." "Well, I meant red." And, the talking back and forth, and in this story, Murtaugh, Danny Glover's getting ready to retire. And Riggs cuts the wire, and he goes, "Raj?" Because there's like a cat that jumped on the roof of the car. And Riggs goes, "Yeah, it was nearly a catastrophe, huh?" And he's like, "Raj, get the cat." Raj's like, "Get the cat!" And they run out, and a real building, practical effects, real building explodes right behind them. And the both of them run out. And like the bomb squad immediately comes in, they're looking, okay, where are they? And Murtaugh and Riggs look up, and Murtaugh has the cat. And they're like, "Yeah, bravo, yeah." And Riggs like, "Oops." And Raj's like, "Yeah, oops." And they're busted down the patrol. And again, fun back and forth. It's like, "I should have cut the red wire." "You did cut the red wire." Riggs is like, "I should have cut the red wire." "You did cut the red wire." "No, I cut the blue wire." And then they get to the shouting match. "You should have cut the blue wire." I did cut the red wire." I can't do it justice. This is why it's hard doing reviews like this without being able to show footage. Just Warner Bros. Can be, a lot of studios can be dickheads about it. But even they're fucking with a jaywalker, it gets to the point where they're like, you know, we're just like, pulls a gun out, like, let's just shoot the bastard. Would you make it look like suicide? And Stanley's like, go that way, no, not that way, that way. And then right off the bat, I mean, again, this film goes at a very fast pace, in my opinion. I mean, you have a wonderful opening, very fun, funny back and forth, and then immediately you just had a big explosion of ability, and then you get right into another action scene where there's like armored car. Richard gets into this armored car that's being driven by these crooks, and Murtaugh gets in with this big black woman who's trying to hit on Danny Glover as they're doing this chase scene. And Ridge gets the seatbelt, steps on it, the brake, and smashes the guy through the windshield. And Ridge's like, you have the right to remain unconscious? And then you say, won't be much. Oh, you waking up? Back to bed, back to bed. I can't help it. I have a lot of fun with this film. It just lumped in with this one, which I'm sorry. I think this one is miles better. Yes, I am one of the only people who will say I like this more than Part 2. Again, Part 2 is a good movie. It's a worthy sequel, but I love this movie. I love the back and forth between these two. I love their dialogue in this flick. And again, the story, sad to say, I got into the story more of, you know, the South African diplomats and Pruderians, okay, but, okay, dirty cops and guns get in the hands of kids, which sadly enough is something that is, you know, kids are still getting guns nowadays. I mean, look at nowadays with gun laws and, you know, what's going on in the media and such today. I don't know, this plot, I liked more, but again, mainly because I love the chemistry between these two guys more. I love the dialogue in the film. And Joe Pesci, I think in the script that, I said I know, then I said I think I know. But I believe that in the script, they did not have Joe Pesci's character. But then they sort of rolled him in a little bit after. You could kind of tell. But I still have fun with Joe Pesci. He's trying to, because Murtaugh, Danny Glover, and his family want to move out. And Joe Pesci's trying to sell the house. And it brings this couple by. But he has to tell them the truth. And he says, like, oh yeah, this kitchen. It was a... Well, a drug dealer came through here in a car and shot up the drape. So, you know. Well, yeah, a drug dealer came in and shot up the place. And I love the fact he just like keep a hush hush. It's like, well, the bathroom had been remodeled due to unexpected bomb damage. But hey, it's okay. Again, I'm not doing it justice. So, again, I wish I could use movie clips on this. But then Murtaugh's like, oh, kill him, son of a bitch, go kill him. And then Joe Pesci, but it's the law. Murtaugh's like, I'm the law. I'm willing to both slapping Joe Pesci. And I have a lot of fun with this film. You know, of stuff that's been going on late, this film brought a lot of smiles to my face. It really did. It big old grin on my face. And it's just a lot of fun. A lot of entertainment. And I know the bad guy, most people consider this the worst bad guy, but I never had a problem with Stuart Wilson. He's not as memorable, I guess, as the other guys, but at the same time, I don't think he's a bad actor. Granted, there's not much of him that distinguishes himself from the other bad guys, like Gary Busey or Jet Li even, but I had no problem with him. I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he does better here than Ninja Turtles 3. And I think he's fine. And to be honest, when I watch Lethal Weapon films, I'm watching for these two guys. I know there's Joe Pesci there, but I'm watching for these two guys. You know, it's... Hell, I love Die Hard 4, and that has a really shitty villain. So, you know... Hey, this has a great villain, but to me, this film is not that great of a flick. You know, Jet Li is really good in this flick, but the movie... It may have a good villain, Jet Li, but the movie itself, I have a lot of problems with. But this one is just a lot of fun. The action scenes work. The dialogue between the two leads work. And I like the idea that there's guns on the street, and there's also cop killers, which is armor-piercing weapons. I like that idea. I like the introduction of Rene Russo's character. I'll be honest, I like Patsy Kensit in Part 2, but I will say I like Rene Russo better in this film. Part 4, she's not given much to do, to be honest, so I'm like, whatever. But I really liked her character in Part 3. I liked that she was a woman that was strong, capable, kicked ass, but also good looking. And, you know, she had her and Riggs had a lot in common. You know, later on, goes back to her place, and she actually has a Three Stooges video game. And of course, that famous scene where they're comparing scars with each other, which I thought was a really good scene. And you have certain sequences, like Joe Pesci recognizes who the Stuart Wilson's character is, and they have this sequence at a hockey game. A little bit of emotional stuff in the flick, which I didn't really like. I thought Danny Glover did a good job. Was Danny Glover saved Mel Gibson because this person was shooting at them, and Danny Glover had to shoot them, and found out that the guy was one of his son's friends. And so he's distraught because, you know, he killed a 15-year-old kid. He had to in self-defense, but he's distraught about it. I like that bit. I like that bit of business. I thought it worked in the tone of the film. I thought this film did have a consistent tone. That was only one of my little minor quibbles about the second film. It was kind of getting fun, and it was like super, super dark. And I know no one else complains about that, but again, it's just a little thing. But I really had fun with this one. I really also bought the emotional stuff. And, you know, one thing leads to another, and he finds Danny Glover drunk on the boat. I thought this was a really funny bit of business where, you know, Danny Glover pulls a gun on him, and then Mel Gibson puts his finger in the gun, and Danny Glover tells him, "Take your finger out of that bottle and give me that gun." And they're talking, and then Danny Glover thinks that Mel Gibson's sleeping with his daughter and smacks him in the face. He's like, I ought to let you drown, you traitor. Mel Gibson falls right into the water. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm sleeping with, you know, Rene Russo, you know, her character. And then some cops, like, see them, like, patrol. They're on the water, like water patrol, whatever, like sheriff or something. He's like, what are you guys doing down there? Well, we're just in the middle of a case of scotch. It's hard repeating what I think is funny. But it's just really hard to do that. Or like another funny bit of business is like Mel Gibson trying to teach Danny Glover how to do a spin kick. So like Mel Gibson does it just fine. Danny Glover tries to do it, and he kicks over a fucking water jug, and everybody, including Mel Gibson's, laughing their asses off, including me. I thought it was a really funny scene. But you do have some really good action sequences, like the armored car truck chasing at the beginning of the film, the entire fucking building blowing up, real and practical, and the very first scene of the movie. Also, I like the action scene where Mel Gibson's chasing these bad guys. He gets on a motorcycle. He's chasing people on a motorcycle. Slides, falls off because this bit of the road's not finished, not done. Grabs on these cables, can't hold it. Oh shit! Falls right through the damn like construction stuff. And I really enjoy the ending where it's in this housing project where houses are being built. Well, obviously, houses being built. And like Mel Gibson, you know, gets this gas, and Roger Murtaugh lights it up, and it burns through the whole damn facility, and they're fucking people up, and Danny Glover gets his good moments. He actually does a kick right and then shoots him. Oh shit. Gets in like an axe or a hatchet and throws it right into a guy's chest. Mel Gibson gets some good stuff. Like Danny Glover gives him the gun. It's a cop killer. You know, Armor Piercing is able to shoot Jack Travis because he has like this boulder trying to kill Mel Gibson. I just really had a lot of fun with this. Even after the end credits, there's stuff where they're talking about they're going to another bomb scare scene. And watch After the end credits, there's more footage where they actually get to another building and you hear dialogue. They have not out. They haven't gotten out of the car yet, and the fucking building blows up. It's like, shit. They're gonna say that we did. You know, they'll never believe this. Don't blame us. And they both say, I'm too old for this shit, and that's when the movie ends. And I have a lot of fun with this film. I like the action scenes. I love the camaraderie between the two. I love the dialogue. I like Rene Russo's character. Either way, I just have a lot of fun. I love this film. Thanks for watching.